The fact is, if you bought all 10 of these cards 40 years ago, you would have a $1 million collection today. What if you could go back in time? Yes, you could go back 40 years and know exactly which cards to buy. Would you go back and still buy this 89 Griffey rookie when you know it will only be worth a couple grand 40 years into the future? Or would you spend the extra few $1,000s on this Gretzky rookie when you know it's going to be worth well over $100,000 in the future? And that's the point of this video. What if you could predict the future? Yes, what if you knew which cards you should spend all your money on today because you knew they would be worth more in the future? I'm here at the VIP North Show to ask collectors which modern day cards they believe will be worth more than $100,000 30 years from now.
I think if you could buy a serial numbered Ohtani rookie, like even one of the ones to 2018, I think that's going to be, in a high grade, is going to be pushing six figures in 40 years.
So the card that I think will be worth more than 100K in the future that I would buy today, surprisingly, would not be a vintage card. It would be a Shohei Ohtani 2018 Chrome Gold Refractor numbered to 50.
We're going to be up and down tonight.
2013 BBM Shohei Ohtani number 208 Purple Wing. There's about, I think it's a Pop 82 or Pop 83 PSA 9 is what I own.
I think the first Bowman 2018 Shohei Ohtani.
I think the 2018 Shohei Ohtani Bowman's first will be the best.
Before we go any further in this video, I want to know what you think. Which modern day card that's worth $10,000 or less today do you think will be worth more than $100,000 in the future? Put your answers in the comments below. And now let's get back to the video. If you're new to my channel, hi, my name is Doc, and I have been buying, selling, collecting cards for the last 40 years. And if you didn't know, my channel has been blowing up over the last week or so. Yes, I got over 300 subscribers in just 1 week. So if you're looking for a new channel on sports cards, sports, or life, this is the one for you. Hit the subscribe button right now. Now, one of the reasons why I think so many people are starting to subscribe and my channel is blowing up is because I actually collected more than 8 million cards and memorabilia over that 40-year period. Yes, I actually became a hoarder, and I've been slowly selling everything off over the last 10 years because I'm trying to build what's called a personal collection, which means that you have to decide what you keep and what you get rid of. And there's a lot of people that actually are in this hobby who have closet full and basement full of cards, and you just don't know why you have all that stuff. So let's put our thinking caps on, because if you're trying to decide which cards you buy today that'll be worth more in the future, there's one concept that everybody has to learn, and that's called store of value. Now, what does store of value really mean? It means that if you buy something today, it'll be worth more in the future, but more importantly, it beats inflation. Now, one great example of a store of value happens to be gold. If you buy an ounce of gold today, it will be worth more in the future and it will beat inflation. Now, it's not going to make you rich. Like if you buy 1 ounce of gold today, which is worth around $4,000 or so, it will probably be worth around $10,000 20 or 30 years from now. And the reason why is because gold is a store of value. It appreciates over time and it beats inflation. Can we say the same thing about sports cards? Which brings me to my next question for you guys. Do you think that sports cards are a store of value or not? Put your answer in the comment below and let's get back to the video.
Well, first of all, I think population reports are misunderstood. There are a lot of issues with population reports, and I think that once you get an understanding for what the limitations are of population reports, you come out just a smarter, more well-prepared collector or investor in sports cards.
That's Jeremy Lee, and he wrote a book called Pops and Comps, which I think everybody who's trying to answer this question, which card should you buy today that's going to be worth more in the future, should honestly read, because he did a deep dive into this hobby on all the things that matter when you're looking at value of cards. So let's see what else he has to say about Pops and Comps.
Comps are just not all created equal, and they're not all reliable. Similar to population reports may not be reliable, comps are not all reliable. And I think the biggest issue we have right now, Doc, is that the hobby relies on these two data sets. They rely on them heavily. There's a chapter in the book called The Comp Economy, because really that's what the hobby has become, a comp economy. I was at a show the other day and I heard somebody say, well, you know, I'm willing. What I heard them say was, well, the last one sold for $3,000. I want 90% of that. Like the last one sold. So you're going to hang your hat on what two people agreed upon somewhere else on a platform where not everybody was present. The hobby is so fragmented and disjointed. It is not like the stock market. It is not an efficient market. And I think that those are issues that people just don't really understand. And with all of the way it's become so transactional and that people need something to rely on, they're just relying on a lot of bogus data that is not really indicative of what I think they think it is indicative of. So yeah, the book Pops and Comps, it's more than just population reports and comparable sales. Pops, the pop section really, in my mind, encompasses the supply side of the hobby. Population reports reflect somewhat supply. Print runs reflect supply as well. But it also is about the world of grading and the limitations that grading itself has as well. And the comp side is really what I consider to be the demand side. What are we paying for cards? Why are we paying what we pay for cards? And what do you need to know to make sure that you're just as well equipped as you possibly can be?
The problem is that 99% of cards in the hobby are not stores of value. They will not appreciate over time, and they definitely won't beat inflation. Whereas a handful of cards are what's called high-end cards. Like this 1958 Jim Brown rookie card. You could have bought this 40 years ago for around $15,000, and today it's worth well over $100,000. So that's an example of a high-end card, a card that's not just a store of value, but it beats inflation. That's where the investing really comes in. And the problem being is that most people are buying all the other cards, the 99% of cards that are everything else, thinking, oh, these cards are going to go up in value over time. That's the Jeff Wilson
I
mistake.
think that Will Greer right now is about 4 times better of an investment than Kyler Murray.
Will Greer over Kyle, it doesn't matter. Both cards were never going to be worth more. And that's the problem, is what cards, not players, but which specific cards are going to be worth more in the future. Before I get into the moral of the video, if you want to say something on this channel, you can actually send me a video on Insta at this account right here, and just send the video into the DM. You give me permission to put it up on this channel. I want to hear from you. You don't have to be an influencer to get on YouTube. Just send me your video and your thoughts or your questions, and I will start to answer them right here. So here's the moral of the story. If you're a pure collector, that means somebody who buys cards because you actually like the cards. Like, I'm a Greg Jeffries fan. I was a huge fan of his when I was a teenager. I actually sat and met with him. He signed all of this stuff for me. We got star cards. We've got all of these other cards. Again, none of these cards are worth a lot of money. And I didn't pay a lot for them way back in the day, maybe $1 each. And they're worth probably around $1 today. So in fact, none of these cards, all of these would be called everything else cards. And if you're a pure collector, just buy what you want. But if you're trying to do the investing thing with cards, that means that you need to know which are the high-end cards, the specific cards, not the players, but the specific cards that are going to be worth more in the future. Again, remember, store of value not only have to go up in value, but they have to beat inflation. Otherwise, they're not really high-end cards. And so that's the moral of this video, is which cards are the ones that you should be looking at that will be worth more in the future. Again, first create a list of all the players that you think will be worth more, and then do a deep dive on which specific cards you think will be worth more in the future. So let's do a recap of this video. The first thing we learned is store of value. Next, we're looking at pops and comps. Then the concept of everything else cards versus high-end cards. And lastly, which cards will be worth more in the future. And I want to leave you with one final note. When we're looking at these cards in the modern day era, there's a lot of overprinting. There's oversaturation, there's rainbows, there's parallels, there's numbered cards, there's autograph cards. And so what I want everybody to start to think about is which of all of these cards become high-end cards and which falls into the everything else category. When I look back 40 years, a lot of cards we thought were going to be high-end cards, and they actually turned out to be everything else. And that's going to happen again today with all of these modern day cards. The numbered cards, the parallels, you think that they're going to be worth more in the future, but the problem is there's just so many of them that they just can't ever get there. The reason why a lot of the cards that I've shown you in this video became high-end cards and worth more than $100,000 is because there was actual real rarity to them. And that's because people destroyed them. They threw them out. They didn't save them. Today, everyone saves everything because, unfortunately, I think a lot of people have become hoarders just like me, and you don't get rid of your stuff. Not only that, but if you sell it, somebody else is holding on to it. Again, that's not rarity if you spread out a whole bunch of cards. The reason why this 1989 Griffey rookie card is not worth a lot of money is because there's probably around 4 million of them in circulation. Therefore, there's just too much supply. And that's the point. Whether you have a numbered card to 25 doesn't mean that it's rare. It just means that it's that one parallel. So unless for some reason people want that specific parallel, which is pretty much never going to happen, that card's never going to increase in value to a great amount. And that's the trap. That's the Jeff Wilson mistake. Stop thinking that every single card, that the rookie cards, the parallels, the autographs, all of these manufactured high-end cards are going to become high-end. They're just not. So that's why I think that the MLB patch cards are a real thing. They can become high-end cards because there's only one and that's it. There's one, and then the market will determine how much they think it's going to be worth. Now, the Paul Skeens 1/1, I think, is going to come down in value. Dick's Sporting Goods, the CEO, bought that card for over $1 million. I don't think it's going to be worth more than $1 million in the future. Therefore, it's not a store of value, because not only does it have to be worth more than $1 million, but it also has to beat inflation in order to be a store of value. Hopefully you guys learned something from this video. If you did, please hit the like button because that's what the YouTube algorithm likes. Other than that, my name is Doc, and I'll see you.